Hey, what's up, everybody? Cameron Hemphill here, your host for Medical Millionaire. Hey, first off, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to tune to the podcast. Our goal is to give incredible value and insight for practice owners and providers. So, if you guys work at a medical aesthetics practice or you're thinking about getting into this specialty, all these podcast episodes are specifically for you and to help you take your business to the next level. So, guys, today I have an amazing guest on. I met her a couple weeks ago. I was super inspired. The way that we met was interesting. And I wanted to have her on the show. So I reached out to her and I said, you know what? Like the way that you speak, the way that you carry yourself, I was immediately inspired. And it was I would be doing a disservice to not have her on. So, guys, I want to introduce Alexis Bowie. She's the Orlando Injector. She's an incredible speaker. She's at the top of her class. She was recently awarded at Aesthetic Next for the Next Generation Leader, which is a massive award. So, hats off to her. Speaker for MERS, Evolus, Prelenium, and she has over 9,000 followers on Instagram. So, Alexis Bowie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, and I apologize in advance. My throat's a little bit raspy, but we're here to rock and roll. Thank you for having me.
Of course, that's because you travel all the time and you're speaking all the
I
time.
haven't stopped talking in the past 3 months. So.
Yeah, so we met at a conference in Park City, and you spoke on stage, and it was interesting to just learn, and as we've been talking offline, even learn more about your story, right? And so, like for the audience, most people that tune in are either providers, practice owners, wanting to get into the industry, and you have something very unique that you bring to the table, from an entrepreneurial background to an entrepreneurial current experience that you're on this journey for. Like, walk us through that. I want the audience to really learn from you, your journey, where you come from, how long you've been in the industry, and where we're going. That would be super amazing to share with us.
Sure. So I started out as a cardiology PA, and like all of us, we get burnt out bedside, right? So I had a great opportunity to kind of pursue my love for fitness, and I opened up a couple gyms in Orlando and worked with those for probably about 10 years. And then COVID hit and my world kind of exploded. Gym memberships were the first thing to go for people
Mm-hmm.
who were trying to cut their expenses. So we were really hurting. So for me, I have a family. So I had to find something that brought me in a consistent income. So for me, I felt that aesthetics and the gym industry were the same patient. It was the
True.
same person getting up, going to the gym in the morning as the same person wanting to get their neuromodulator treatment. So it felt like a very seamless transition for me. So I transitioned back into being a PA. So I took a 10-year gap and transitioned into being a PA in the aesthetic industry, but it wasn't as easy as you would think to get. I mean, we all know as providers, it's hard getting that first gig. I mean, I was a
Mm-hmm.
PA for a decade plus, and nobody would hire me because at the end of the day, in our industry, just because we've been a PA for 15 years, this is a brand new vocabulary. This is a brand new
Yeah.
industry. Nobody learns any of this in school. So you have to have a little piece of humble pie and realize that you might be a badass PA in urology or cardiology, but you're a baby PA in the aesthetic world. So
Yep.
um, I built connections and built relationships and offered to, or I wouldn't say offered, I begged to work for free. I took a couple steps back. I think it's important
Mm-hmm.
to take 10 steps back in order to make a giant leap forward. So the practice that I wanted to work for, I offered to work as a medical assistant just to learn how he operated and his mind and
Yep.
everything. And ultimately, they learned my character, learned my drive, and I was able to transition into an actual provider role. But that didn't happen overnight. So I had to like prove my worth and beg to be hired because it's tough. I mean, this industry is incredibly saturated. So I think it's important to have that mindset of it's okay to take a couple steps back working as an assistant just to allow them to feel comfortable to hire you. And then ultimately, I've grown in the same practice that hired me from day one is who I work for, and I've been able to build a beautiful brand, which is the Orlando Injector, within their house. And I think I've created a really beautiful relationship with my boss that allows me to kind of be or have my own sense of identity within his house. And I always say I will
Yeah.
always be the Orlando Injector at the Village Institute of Plastic Surgery, but he allows me
Hmm.
to kind of fill my entrepreneur cup while not
Yeah.
taking on the liability or the risk of owning my own practice. So I still feel like I'm creating something that's bigger than life for me, without taking on those risks.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. And I think a lot of times, it's people have to they feel they have to own their own practice in order to fill that entrepreneurial cup. And the reality of it is being a practice owner, like you take on a tremendous amount of liability, right?
Hmm.
There is expenses, whether you lease a building, own a building, you have insurance, you have equipment, you have inventory costs, you have personnel costs, you have utilities. Like I could go on and on, right? Software costs, digital marketing costs. It just like naming all these makes me think like, holy shit, why am I even a business owner?
I
Right?
know
So
you're like, oh my God, this is painful to even talk about. It's
yeah, and it just
horrible.
flows. Yes, no, and what's interesting is like you being an entrepreneur, owning gyms, you understand that world.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you understand ownership, membership, liability. Like gyms, I would assume the insurance on a gym ownership has to be extraordinarily high. I would assume. I don't know.
And it's
Okay.
worth every penny because if somebody gets hurt, but
Yeah,
it's painfully high.
painfully high. Yep,
Mhm.
100%. It's okay. Here's a question. You made a comment that was like, hey, I feel like these are the same patients or personas, people that go to
Mhm.
the gym and then people that go to aesthetics. Is Has there been some sort of marriage there from gym memberships, clientele to patients? Like, do you see the same people?
Has yes. So have I actually done like an actual collaboration with the gym?
Mm-hmm.
So initially, because of the way my gyms are structured, it's group fitness. So it's really
Okay.
that like family culture community environment. When I transitioned away from the gyms and started down the aesthetic path, I didn't want my members to feel that I was utilizing my email list or my access to them.
Smart.
So I kept everything separate, and I still have yet to do an actual collaboration. My business partner is like, why don't you just email blast them a great promotion? And I'm like, because I never want them to think I'm taking advantage of my access to them. And I think
Love it.
organically, they have all kind of come to me just through word of mouth or following me on Instagram. But for me, I really wanted to keep them completely separate because I don't know, I felt like I just wanted to grow it on my own without
Yeah.
being like on the back of my gyms that I've built. But
Yeah. No, it makes
organically,
sense.
they've all come. I saw like 10 of
Yep.
them this week. So I think when you
Okay.
do it that way, then it makes it feel a little less, I don't know, like they were kind of sought out for.
Right.
And it's
Right.
just that organic. They just fall in my chair, and then we already have a great rapport, and it's more seamless that way versus them getting email blasted just because I have access to their email. So I've kind of wanted
Yeah.
to keep it separate.
That's a great approach. I 100% agree. And that's why I brought it up because it's like, hey, if you take that organic approach, hey, I'm doing other stuff, they're going to find out eventually,
Right.
right? These are people that, they probably wake up early, they career driven, they're confident driven, and they're going to find out eventually. And that makes it so much more authentic,
Totally.
And as we're like kind of wrapping here, like you have my brain going, I would almost bet, and I could be wrong, I don't know, but I could almost bet that and maybe it's too soon to tell. You let me know. It's probably elevated the gym in a way because you create that bond. I would assume, right? Like when they're
Mhm.
in your chair, you have a great conversation. You get to know
Mhm.
them in a much more personalized manner than at the gym. I would assume.
I
Am
I
I right in
think
saying that?
I don't know if it's elevated the gyms. it might have elevated the appearance of my members in the gym, but
There you go.
um, but I think all the people that ultimately are in my chair from the gyms, I think it's elevated the culture in the community. I think they
Okay.
saw me struggle during COVID and realized she has a baby girl that's about to be due. I was a COVID pregnancy. So they saw me grind. They saw me from my very first post on the Orlando Injector page to where I am now, 5 years, almost 5 years later. So I think it's just like kind of full circle created that
Hmm.
community of like, look, she went through a tough time. She realized she needed to make a pivot in her life and look at where she's at now. And they all come in my chair and they're like, at first, when I transitioned out, I was really scared that they would be like, you're abandoning us. You don't care about the gyms. You know how cultures and
Yeah,
gyms are.
totally. Yeah,
It
yeah.
can happen. So I was nervous to even like have any of them follow me. But nowadays they're like, I'm so proud of you. You're grinding, you're working your ass off. Like you are is such an inspiration to when shit hits the fan,
Yeah.
and COVID happens, you pivoted and you're making something out of a dark situation. So ultimately I think it strengthened the culture and the community. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I would say
No,
so.
I like that's amazing. I mean, congratulations to
Thank
you.
you.
I mean, it's not, life hits us with shit,
Mhm.
and I think there's a specific character out there that can fold pretty quickly.
Mhm.
Which we saw, and it's unfortunate, and there's other personalities that say, you know what, I'm going to take this on, like throw anything at me, and I'm going to take it on. I don't know where that comes from. Maybe it comes from early childhood. Maybe I don't know if we're born with it. I'm not sure if it's from like I don't know, but you're one of those people that have that in the sense of the drive of like, you know what, throw whatever you want at me,
Mhm.
and I'll be the gym owner, and I'll get back into this, having a 10-year break, and I'm going to go make it successful. I'm sure there's risk, but from as I haven't known you that long, but just very quickly, I can identify that you're like, hey, you know what? Throw it at me. I'm confident in myself. I believe myself, and I'm the one that's going to
Right.
take it on. Yeah.
You it's a safe bet when you bet on yourself, right? So
Hmm.
I always tell companies that hire me, I'm like, give me all the speaking engagements that people say no to. Like, I'm not afraid of hard work. I'm not afraid of the boring PowerPoint that isn't exciting to listen to. Like, I'll make it exciting. I will work my ass off. I'm the first person at the gym in the morning because that's when I can get my workout in at 4 a.m. Like, I think it's that grit, it's that
Yep.
not being afraid to get in the mud. And if you got to stay up till 2 a.m. to figure something, like, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of just embedded in you to just be that hard worker and you're not afraid of the storms and you just power through. So I think that really stands out and it kind of translates into your practice as well, even being an entrepreneur. Like you have to go, like you said, you have to go through some shit as a business owner. So I
Hmm.
think having that grit is what helps people because no matter who you are, you're going to go through tough times, right? You could
Yeah.
be incredibly wealthy, go through tough times, or not doing so well financially. Everybody's going through the same tough times, but how are you going to get through those storms is I think what builds that character.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, and I mean I can attest to it, guys. Like when I met I met Alexis, and I was like getting out of my hotel room. It's kind of funny when you go to these conferences. There's like all these people pack into these hotels, and it's almost like everybody's in like a dorm for a weekend. It's
It
that's like the
really,
way I
oh
kind of
my
look at
God, it is like a dorm.
it. You're all like everybody comes to the same location. Obviously, there's all these different hotel rooms. And there's like a gym on site. There's the coffee. You run into people at breakfast. And then obviously the conference is going on and all the activities and workshops. It's like a dorm. But I was leaving my hotel room and I was like the only guy in the hall, and it's like kind of like a small hallway. And then she turns the corner, comes walking down, and she's the only girl in the hall, and she has this map. And I'm like, hey, are you going to that early yoga class? Because I think everybody on the floor was like on the same conference, but she's like, no, I'm going to the gym, right? So I thought that was funny. And this was early. I mean, I don't know, 5 o'clock, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So I can attest to that. And I think like, it's interesting when you run into people early and, like I go to the gym very early. Most of the audience knows that. And I've got to know the people at my gym that I go to quite
Mhm.
frequently, and they're very driven. They're not there because they're lazy. But they're like, I got to get up and get going.
Yeah. It's always interesting, the morning gym people, because even on nights that I have very little sleep, like there are obviously nights where I'm like, you know what, I'm just not going to go to the gym. It's been a rough night. Sleep
Hmm.
is important. But
Sure.
I think that I love that saying, like, you're not going to be motivated every single day. And that's when discipline kicks in, right? I think when you
Yep.
have that discipline, you get up and you just like, most of the times, like I'll see them in the morning and I'm like, I don't know how I got here, but I just landed here. It's like my body just woke up and it was like, you gotta work. It doesn't matter what kind of night you had, like go work out. But I often find that morning at like 4 or 5 a.m. to be such a creative hour for me. I don't know about you, but I feel like when the whole world is turned off, because
Hmm.
most of the world is sleeping, I get so much done mentally. I'm like my to-do list is just racking up because I'm having idea after idea after idea during that time, because I feel like everything is just quiet and my brain
Yep.
can really function. So not only obviously physically is it so beneficial, but I think mentally it's such an incredibly productive hour for me. I don't know about you.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. I think like there's definitely times where I don't want to give up or get up, even when my
No.
alarm goes off. I think actually this morning it went off, and I'm like, geez. But I know if I don't go, I'm not nearly as productive. My brain actually at this point, I've been doing it for so long, it won't really even turn on.
Hmm.
It's like it's embedded. I almost like go to the gym not for the physical appearance anymore. It's almost just like for the mental
Right.
cognizance. Like it's a total mental thing for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. And obviously, I think when you like set your day up like that, I think everybody benefits. So I can't tell you how many times in the gym, like people, I'll post that I'm in the gym at conference and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you got up. And I'm like, it's not even about like looking good in this hour
Yeah.
sometimes. It's
Yeah.
about how I want to set my day. So
Yep.
just walking on even if I only have 30 minutes, let me just walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes just to
Hmm.
clear my head before the madness of the conference starts. So for me, it's most of the time it's not for aesthetic purposes. Obviously, that's a benefit. We want to look good, feel good. But it really sets my mood up and I feel like I'm just like a cleaner mind. And I feel like it's just such a great way to start your day.
So, do you listen to audio tapes, podcasts when you're working out? Is it music? Do you switch it up?
I go through phases. Like I'll go
Hmm.
through a phase where 6 months I'm like all motivation, like David Goggins, like just like yelling at me, like man the f up. Like I need some of those every once in a while. Like you don't quit. I need to be yelled at sometimes, and then sometimes I'm listening to like 2000s R&B boys to men, and then like it really I go through different phases depending on what I need. But I do mostly listen to podcasts or just motivational stories, documentaries. I love the leadership podcasts that you just get like kind of a hodgepodge of just different leadership
Yeah.
tapes, but
Hmm.
it really depends on my mood. Or I'll just listen to rock music and just get screamed at. It just really
Yeah.
depends. What are you?
The same. I mean, I listen to so like I'll go through different series depending on where I'm at in life. Like this morning it was I wanted an update on what's happening in the real estate market. And so I listened to like the bigger pockets for 10 minutes of like rates and what's happening. I'm a nerd like that. But my gosh, it was so boring this morning. So I'm like, okay, got it. I get it. I got to switch. I had to go to music and
Mhm.
I just needed something to just elevate me. And it was, I don't know, there's some tracks on, I have a Spotify, but it was some like workout upbeat playlists that they
Like an
created. So some badass hip hop. Yeah. Some great hip hop. And I mean, it helped. It got me going. But I'm like you, like my brain will turn on and ideas will start coming to me.
Mhm.
And what's interesting is I'll have to pick up my phone, and I'm a big email person. if I come up with an idea or something I need to implement, I'll email it to myself.
Yeah.
I think some people take a note maybe or something. I email it to myself, and then my email is like kind of acts as a to-do list sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm a notepad girl. So
goes
I
in the
like
notes on the iPhone.
my notes on the iPhone. And the night before every night, I lay out my day. So it's like 4:30 to 5:30 workout, 5:30 to 6:30 get shower, get my daughter ready, 6:30 like it has to be
Structured.
so structured like that because I'm trying to do so many things that if I'm not that organized, I won't get anything done. So I'm incredibly structured. A little too structured sometimes, but
You're like me. I
I like
am.
it.
Yeah, I live better with structure.
Yeah.
It may, like if my life gets I feel like it gets chaotic if there's not
Hmm.
structure, like time
Hmm.
driven. Very similar in that regard. And I think like a lot of entrepreneurs, people that are trying to achieve the next level of themselves and just trying to find the next best version, structure is huge. And like when you manage everything around time, because time is the most valuable asset we have, you know that more than anybody, being a provider, right? That's what you guys are selling. You guys really truly are selling time,
Right.
right, at the end of the day. And so it's interesting when you map that out, and the people that do that, the entrepreneurs I have followed, very successful people, I see patterns,
Hmm.
very very consistent patterns in that. And to your point, I think a lot of us also can get maybe a little too structured. It's
Right.
like, dude, chill out, like
Right.
like chill out for a minute.
Yeah, it's like we had this scheduled for 7 and it's 7:20 and you're not here. Like, you
What's
understand the
going
shift
on?
in my schedule that makes this like it's a ripple effect. But
Hmm.
yeah, sometimes I need to take a little deep breath and it's not that serious. But when you're trying to get so many things done, it's almost you kind of have to because time is money. You got to get things done and you have projects you want to work
Hmm.
on, multiple projects. So it's definitely helpful to be incredibly structured. Have you ever watched Selling Manhattan with Ryan Serhant?
Yeah. Hmm.
So he put up a post one day of his schedule. Have you ever seen that post? And it was
I
like
follow him, but I'll have to look at it.
he got a lot of crap for it because it was like me on steroids, but I was like so giddy. Look, I screenshotted it and I like zoomed in and I was like, "Oh man, this is gold." It was like 8 to 8:40. Like it was even smaller like windows of time. It was like 8:15 to 8:30 commute here and it was just like so it was me on crack and I just absolutely lived for it. But he got a lot of slack for being so wildly structured. But I'm like, ah, it's my spirit animal.
I was gonna pull it up on the phone. I'll look at it later.
I'll have to send it to you.
But
It's good.
yeah, yeah, send it to me. No, he's built an incredible business. It's a good show, and I've been following him for quite some time. But yeah, I mean, to the entrepreneur point, like having structure, having discipline, like that's the key. And I think like there's a lot of times throughout life and throughout the spirit of an entrepreneur, especially as a provider, and where like burnout's real. Like there's definitely days where it's like shit, it's raining outside, like whatever excuse is coming in. I mean, I don't know how many patients you see on a very busy day, but it could be overwhelming, I'm sure,
Sure.
or underwhelming, actually, maybe even sometimes. But it's where you just don't want to do things. But it all falls back on discipline,
Hmm.
right? It's all like, hey, like I mean, running. I run a lot, and like sometimes I just don't want to, but I afterwards I always feel great about it versus not.
Does anybody really enjoy running or do they enjoy finishing?
I think probably like finishing it. Probably
I
finishing it.
definitely enjoy finishing a run. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
enjoy the run, but I will say on my best runs, and you can disagree. My best runs are on my toughest days. So days where I'm really just beat down mentally, going through
Hmm.
whatever it is I'm going through. I find that those are the best runs where all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I just ran 3 miles and it felt like I just turned the corner from my house.
Interesting. Yeah,
It's
that's a
when you
good
can
point.
really dive in. But I feel like my best runs are my worst days.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm like picturing you running with anger right now. Um, like you probably run faster too. You know what? I have to agree with you. There's definitely times I think where I've ran. I don't know if the speed performance has been better or not. I'm not sure, but I, I definitely can relate to that.
I think when you just dive in deep into like whatever it is and it doesn't have to be anything bad, but just you're doing a lot. And
Hmm.
I find that the pain of running, of feeling like, oh, I still have another mile left to go, like all of a sudden I'm done because I wasn't even focused on the run, which I would say is probably not healthy because I should probably be able to compartmentalize my time a little better. But running is so therapeutic for me.
Same. I mean, I mean, sometimes I just think the whole time, right? I'm just thinking about stuff, and then I'm like, okay, shoot, I guess we're done. And maybe you've experienced that same thing as well. You just kind of go down this long, like, thought process rabbit hole and accomplish something at the end. It's kind of interesting. But pivoting for a second, runs are great, workouts are great. So if you guys, the audience, like, you know, get after it. What I was surprised to see you at Aesthetic Next because I know those conferences were so tight. And I know that, you having family at home, I also have family at home as well. But what is like, how do you structure that? Because I'm a big fan of education, and it's very important for people like you and I to go to the conferences to expand on that education, um, and help serve. That's kind of the way I see it. Like helping serve, expand on education, network. Right, your net worth is your network. And there's great people in the industry, but there's also like there's a family at home. It's challenging, right? And I'm sure you have conferences on the schedule coming up soon, right?
Mhm.
So walk us through that, like your purpose behind that, the drive behind that. Is it educational driven? What's your thoughts on that?
The purpose behind why I enjoy speaking at conferences.
Speaking and just like going to conferences, while I know it's challenging to
Mhm.
maintain family life at home, like I totally get it. I totally get it. Because you have to sacrifice something. There is a sacrifice. The
Oh my
decision that you
gosh.
make, right?
Totally.
And even going to work, not going to work, like there's a sacrifice, like, right? So yeah.
Absolutely. So you might have to take a day off of clinic where you're losing income.
Hmm.
I think for me, the traveling to speak and speaking for different companies is twofold. One, I am so incredibly fueled when I feel like I've made an impact on somebody's life. Like when somebody messages me a week after the conference and they're like, "Girl, your technique changed the game for me."
Totally.
I I can't tell you how happy, like to the point of tears. I'm like, oh my God, like that is so cool what I just did for this provider. So there's that component of it. The other side of it is I love being challenged. I love getting in front of a big audience and putting my skills to the test and putting my knowledge to the test and speaking. Public speaking is obviously terrifying. So I
Hmm.
love the challenge of learning a new topic and learning it so well that I can then stand on stage and present it eloquently. So I love that aspect of it. And then there's the social networking, creating kind of your community in within the industry that then you can like beep up around to different conferences and you just have fun together. But then
Hmm.
the dark side of it all is your family sacrificing. So for me, with the amount of conferences I've committed to this year, I really tighten up my window. So if my talk is Saturday afternoon, like I'm last flight Friday night, and then I'm trying to leave as soon as I can, first flight Sunday morning, like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So for me, I've had to really tighten up my travel schedule so that I'm not the one that's lingering after to do a Sunday fun day with everybody at the conference. Like I'm out. If the
Yep.
conference ends at 5 and there's a happy hour, I'm still getting on a flight at 7 right after. So like I just got back from Charleston on Saturday. My talk ended at 5, and I literally in my heels went straight to the airport and on a flight because I didn't want to wait until Sunday morning to fly out. So for me, you got to sacrifice on both ends.
Hmm.
But I think my family, like when I received, and this is so cheesy, when I received the Next Generation Award at Aesthetic Next, I cried. And I didn't cry because of the industry recognition. I cried because it felt so good to be kind of recognized for what my family went through. And
Amazing.
for me, it was more of like people don't, they see me in a red leather outfit accepting a trophy on stage, but they don't see that me, my mom, and my husband sat with our calendars and tried to figure out, okay, you're going to pick up Brooklyn from daycare, and then I get off of work, and then we're going to go here, and then she flies back here, so we don't need help here. And it's that for every single event. So for me, it felt so good to kind of like bring that home to my family and say, like, we did it. Like, and it's such a silly award. It really means nothing. But to me, it was like, guys, like our hard work and all of this sacrifice and me being absent and all of the manipulation of the calendars, it kind of felt like it made it worth it.
Yeah.
So I cried for like what different reasons than people might think, but it's tough. It's tough juggling it all. And I think the reality is that maybe there's a little double standard when it comes to women traveling versus men. I think we're breaking barriers, but I think so many times people are like, "Who's with the kids?" And I'm like, "My husband." Just, whereas like you
Yeah,
might not
yeah.
get the question. But I think,
True.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say true. No, that's very true. You might not get the question. You're right. Yeah.
But I don't necessarily believe in all that. But I do think that there's so many layers to why I love traveling for conferences and speaking. It's that fulfilling and really making an impact on somebody's career, and then also the challenge of public speaking and overcoming fears and all of that, and
Yep.
then figuring it out with your family. I think there's so many layers to being a speaker in the industry.
Hmm. No, I 100% agree. And I think it's interesting, like, as an entrepreneur or somebody that's trying to level up, right? And that's what we try to do. Either being in your specific role, my role, the industry, whatever you want to call it, it's there's a social media aspect to it. And when you pull up Instagram, when you pull up social media, it can all look glamorous, and then that's great, right? That's sure, that's great. I mean, like posting things that are achievements and awards should be shared, and it should elevate people, and it should inspire people.
Sure.
Um, totally get that, but you made a really great point. Is it's ugly behind the scenes, and that's what people don't see, right?
Mhm.
It's almost like getting on stage and you're in a fitness competition and you look amazing, but like the work that went into that, it's ugly. And I had a vision when you said, sitting down with the family and you're going to pick her up at this time. We got to coordinate that time, and there's arguments around that. You
Oh
got
yeah.
to like it's a pain in the ass, and I totally get it. So no, there is a sacrifice for sure, and that's just one of the things that we have to take on as entrepreneurs. So as for providers out there and for practice owners, right? Like it's sacrifice is real, and I like that she said tighten the window. Because conferences are important, networking is important, expanding on education is important. Achievement is important to make yourself feel whole after all the hard work. Like putting in hard work and not having an achievement can suck.
Yeah.
It really can. Like you're like, shit, what are we doing every single day? Like, because aren't you? It's not like a football season where you have practice and then you have the season, you have the game, and then maybe you go to the Super Bowl or whatever, right? And you win, and then the season's over. Entrepreneurship, it never ends.
Right.
And so the achievement, like congratulations, honestly. Like I get how much work that shit takes to receive. I understand.
Thank you.
But that's the stuff that's unfortunately it's like for whatever reason, we don't share on social. Maybe I don't even know why. I think it's just like we just are doing the work. The work is put in,
Mhm.
right?
I
Yeah.
think as alphas, sometimes we want to make it look effortless. But I think when you really bring people, I mean, we share so much on social media. I think when you really bring people into a little bit of the struggle, I think it just humanizes you. And I think, in
Hmm.
fact, can really help connect with your audience. And they're like, oh, she's not just always on, she's struggling
Yeah.
today. I think it just humanizes the entire process and allows your audience to connect with you. And I think that's so important when it comes to especially providers capturing patients. I think they start to build trust with you before they even meet you. And I can't tell you how many times a patient comes in and they're like, I saw that your daughter's sick. How's she feeling? And this is the first time I'm meeting them. So I
Wow.
think having that, being a little genuine and a little raw,
Yep.
allows your patient to connect with you before even meeting you. So I think it helps your patients. It helps
Great
draw
point.
in patients.
No, great point. It's a way like social media should be bent to. It's totally meant to connect one another in a virtual way.
Hmm.
You know, and I think if you're always on, then it's just like there's really not a connection there,
Hmm.
right? And if you show some of that family life stuff, right, and this is for providers out there in the industry, like if you guys are struggling with social media, like show some vulnerability, like show your expertise, of course, show some hobbies of interest, show your humor, show some behind the scenes, like, and that truly does create that great connection with that current patient or to be patient. And, when they come see you, it's almost like they've already met you
Right.
in a way. And it's easy to pick up on a conversation and just kind of flow.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
So where do we go from here? Where does the Orlando Injector go from here? Finishing out 2024 conference schedule, business, like how like I guess I'm curious how many hours a day are you putting in right now, and then like beyond 24, going into 25. What does the future hold for you in the short term and maybe in the near long term?
It's a great question. I have a couple more conferences this year, and then I'm pretty much wrapped up. My goal is to really be intentional with my holiday time and be with the family and be present. Um, but honestly, for me, 2025, I want it to be the year of intention. Like, I want to maybe start a YouTube channel and be able to expand my audience from the comfort of my living room. So, still be next to my family, but expanding my reach. So, really being smart with my time. I want to continue speaking, continue learning, continue networking. I want all of that to continue growing. But to be honest, 2024 for me, I reached things that I didn't even know I could even set this year for myself. So I've hit some goals that weren't even on my radar. So
Awesome.
honestly, the sky's the limit, and I'm so open. Like I've always been the person that no opportunity is too small, and I say yes to as much as I can because the smallest speaking engagements have connected me with somebody who then connected me with somebody else, and
Oh my
like
gosh.
meeting you in Utah in the hallways, and then now we're sitting here on your podcast, which I've watched and I've admired your work for so long. So like all of these
Thank
little
you.
moments, I think it's important to always say yes when you can and don't think that you're too cool to say yes to the little things because you can meet the next person that will connect you to your next big gig. So
Yeah.
I don't know what 2025 holds for me. I'm excited to watch it kind of organically unfold, but my goal is to be more intentional with my time and to continue like consolidating and doing more of what makes me happy, but also being mindful of like family time and stuff like that, compartmentalizing better, which is very hard for me.
Oh, geez, that's super hard for me too. No, I know that you'll have a very bright future, and I'm sure 2025 is going to expose some goals that same thing that you kind of went through in 2024. So, super excited for you. And one call out that I 100% agree with. I was actually talking with our CMO recently, he's like, because every time we go to a conference, from a chief marketing officer standpoint, they want to know like attribution. Okay, like how many attendees were there? What was, they look at it through a completely different lens than I do.
Sure.
I'm like, look, I was in Utah and I have the autonomy to kind of do what I want, but I'm like, look, I'm in Utah. I met these great people. And that was the first time I met Terry Ross, where I got to like sit in on a very like closed off stage with her and just hear her drive home. I've heard her speak several times, but man, she was like incredible. We hit it off. Now I'm going to go to her conference in Fort Lauderdale that's coming up, and we're going to kind of do some collaboration there. It quickly, I figured out you're going to aesthetic next. I saw you there. Like, you're right. Like it opens up opportunities of gigs and events. And I'm going to Scott Callahan's symposium
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
coming up. He's like, dude, I saw you speak on stage. I really liked how you talked about the business aspect and the marketing aspect. And Scott's been a customer and a friend for a long time. But he's like, I'm having this event. It's a big event. I want to have you there. Come speak, please. And that would have never have happened, Alexis, if I didn't go to Yvonne's conference. It just wouldn't have.
I know.
Like, so I can, like, there's several things that like right there. Right. And so I agree. Like you have to get yourself out there. Obviously that comes with sacrifice,
Yeah.
but at the same time, if we want to keep pushing, then you have to do it. And so I would encourage other providers and practice owners. I know that there was like this time period where I think we all got conference fatigue.
Yeah.
But and sometimes that happens to me, but at the same time, guys, like your network truly is your net worth, and there's so much fun opportunity in here that's going to help elevate your career, and just keep you on your toes. Like public speaking, to your point, it's scary. I get nervous every time, and but at the same time, it helps you become a better communicator, helps you become a better. It builds confidence, and then you can take that home to your patients,
Hmm.
right? And so it's just a constant learning aspect.
Yeah, it really sharpens so many pieces of you. It sharpens your communication, it sharpens your ability to face fears, like
Hmm.
that first speaking gig I had, I remember saying like abort, abort, or abort. Like I was freaking out. And you gotta face it. You gotta walk on stage
Yep.
and you perform, right? So it really
Yep.
sharpens a lot of like developmentally character things about you, like, so I think public speaking is an incredible challenge that I've had so much fun overcoming that fear of.
I love it. Well, I want to have you back on the show, and I want to dive deeper on some other topics that I have. I know you're super busy, and so we'll wrap up here. But thank you so much for joining. If anybody wants to connect with you, Alexis, where is the best place for them to go? I would assume it's the Orlando Injector Instagram page,
Hmm.
but what about from your perspective?
Just slide into my DMs. I respond to every DM. I'm not that cool, but the Orlando Injector _ on Instagram is the best way to reach me.
Awesome, guys. Go check out her work. She's an amazing provider. She's an amazing entrepreneur and entrepreneur. That's like, man, I don't even know too many people that have those skill sets. Like, and she's currently running that way. So, talk about a female here that is a true inspiration to the industry. I'm sure is very much admired by her patients. She's creating so much confidence, not only like from the gym aspect and health aspect, to everything she's doing in aesthetics. And if you have the opportunity to go to a conference and she happens to be speaking, like take the time and listen to her speak. She's got, the story goes way beyond this, and she's just doing big things, guys. So pay attention, and I'll leave it at that. So thanks so much, Alexis. I appreciate you, and
Thank
we'll talk
you.
to you again soon.
It's been
Thank
an
you. All
honor.
right,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Thank you, guys.